Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about what challenges are you facing in your meditation practice. So, one of the challenges that I think is common is looking for results. And I think that's one kind of half of what I wanted to chat about here today was looking for a particular result and seeking something in particular and trying to get that out of your meditation practice. And this is a common thing to do, to say, like, because this is the way that life works, right? We see goal X and we move towards goal X, and we have a plan. We plan out step by step how we're going to achieve the goal. And meditation and mindfulness is different than any other activity that you've ever done, in that we are moving towards the goal without any active trying to move towards the goal. And I think that's that's really different, in that through this kind of passive doing nothing but doing something, right? Because it's not exactly doing nothing, because you have to intend to do it, right? You're not going to just sit in one place for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or however long you're going to meditate without saying to yourself, this is good for me, I'm going to do this. Otherwise, what's the point? And I think sometimes we go, well, hey, I'm going to sit for 30 minutes because it makes me feel good. Well, my question for you is, well, what if it doesn't? Because sometimes that's really what happens in a lot of meditations, is that I sit, maybe I'm sitting for the first 3 minutes and go, this stinks, like I'm feeling worse than I was feeling 3 minutes ago, so I'm going to abandon the meditation, right? So what keeps you going and what motivates you is important. So it's not doing nothing, it's doing something. It's like doing nothing but with intention. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And if it isn't going to achieve results, then why would I do it at all? And so that's always kind of the balance. As we come with intention, we remember why it is that we come to practice, but we sit each time, and sits, we don't always sit in meditation, but as we come to our meditation practice, we try our best, or let's say one of the ways to achieve the most results is to not expect anything to happen at all, to completely let go of results as we get into and as we sit in our practice, and just go, here is what it is. What I'm doing right now is nothing more than observing myself and observing the present moment experience of being here and being alive right now. I'm just have a quick look at the chat here. Rachel says, I usually only do guided meditations daily. Jean says, I meditate daily. The main goal of meditation is to increase awareness. Micah says, I fell out of my meditation routine. I've been challenged getting back into regular practice. Sybil says, I meditate daily using the Insight Timer app, not just quietly sitting unguided. And I do try and do it on my own. And this is, thanks everybody for sharing. And the way that the way that you meditate, whether it's focused on breath or you're using guidance, we all have, first of all, we're all different, right? We all wear different shoe sizes. We all need something a little bit different. We're all also in different stages of our meditation practice, and that's important to recognize. And so when I look at Rachel's practice or Jean's practice or Micah's practice or Sybil's practice, that I'm accepting that this is another person who's completely distinct from me, and not to worry about any comparison between myself and that person. There's no better or worse. We're just in different places in our journeys. And that's the other thing. It's to say journey is kind of not a great word either, because it implies that there's like a line, and that we're all in different places on the line, right? And like that's not it either. We're not climbing up a mountain trying to reach the summit, and we're all on different sides of the mountain working with different terrain. That's better. That's a better analogy than a line, but that's still not what it is, because of how different we all are, right? Like this thing inside of our heads and our bodies, by the way. We're full of neurons all over our bodies, and we're not even at the edge of beginning to understand how the brain and the body and the mind and all of this stuff works together. So understanding some kind of scientific humility that we don't understand how it all works and where it all is. And I've said it before, I don't know how meditation works. I mean, there are some indicators. There have been some scientific studies that show how it works and what's happening in the brain. And that is what drew me to my meditation practice in the beginning, is having that comfort for a person like me who's quite analytical, to know that there has been some research to show that this doing nothing actually does something for us. And that's really helpful for me to know, and helps keep me coming back to my cushion. But everyone is different, and we all have different ways to stay in our practice. And what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is being aware in the present moment. So is it possible to simply be aware and to practice being aware? That is what our meditation practice is all about. That's why it's called practice. We're practicing being aware so that we can use these skills that we're learning as we sit in meditation, or as we lie in meditation, or as we, stand in meditation or walk in meditation. As we practice mindfulness, the idea is that we have more awareness to be able to interact and engage with our life in a more skillful way. And I think because Jean and I have talked about it before, and I know that one of the things that is certainly true for me, and probably true for other people here as well, is that it's kind of the scaffolding. My mindfulness practice is the scaffolding for the rest of a lot of the other mental health pieces that I kind of hang on the scaffolding of mindfulness. That I can use that awareness to monitor and go, hey, here's where I am now. Here's what because of my awareness of myself, I know this is what I need to do. And I'll be honest, I don't always do the things that I know that I need to do. Because it's hard, but that's why I meditate every day. And it doesn't matter if you meditate through, the question is, what's going to be supportive for you and your practice? What's going to help keep you coming daily? And I really do want to stress that daily, to come back, to try to do it every day, because that's really where you're going to see the most results, is to try to carve out that time to do it every day. And I'll read a few more of the chat interactions. Cece says, I come most days to the meditation for 3 years. I feel less anxiety and depression, but my mind definitely gets distracted. Robin says, I use Insight Timer daily. And Micah says, I most often use Insight Timer just with a low volume soundscape, which stops me from feeling the need to check the timer is still working, which that's pretty interesting as well. Sometimes just silence as well. Unattached focus with different sounds I can hear, or sensations in my body or on my skin. So these are all excellent ways to meditate. I have seen results, says Gene. It took a bit of time. The space between stimulus and response has increased, which that's really, I've shared with you all before. That's my main goal of meditating, is to increase that space between stimulus and response so that I have some decision about what it is I'm going to do. And I'm not just watching my life like a video recording, that I have, whatever I is, as we break that down, I have some agency, and that I'm not just being pulled around by the puppet strings of my emotions. And Sybil says, I like meditating every day as it feels good. So thanks everybody so much for sharing and interacting today. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, which it's already 13 minutes in, so I haven't had a good chance to do it, but I'll try to briefly say that I'm sharing my meditation practice with you, especially these days. You'll notice that almost always I do meditation focused on the breath, and that's because I think there are benefits in all the different meditation types, but I find that this is the one that is the most beneficial for me on a daily basis. That sitting and trying to stay focused on my breath, because I'm not moving my attention around. That it's hard. It's something that allows me to get distracted easily, which is, I believe, an important part of the meditation practice. So I'm sitting silently, sitting still, so that I can see through my stillness all of the activity that's going on. That even though my body, or maybe especially because my body is completely still, I can see how my mind moves around. But I know that's not always what's best for everyone. And, so two things when your practice is getting hard. One, maybe it's getting hard for a reason. Maybe there's something that you're breaking through. Maybe you should keep doing the thing that's hard and see what happens, okay? Number two, there's that kind of pushing through, depending on your personality type, there is a kind of harshness towards self and a lack of self-compassion. So try to use your practice to be aware of that as well. Don't keep pushing too hard on yourself. If when you use your mindfulness, dig down deep inside and you find that there's this achievement, that there's a desire for achievement that I'm pushing through because I'm hoping to get somewhere, that's the good indicator that it's time to change. And maybe in general, it's just time to change. The time that when it's not time to change is the craving for something different, right? I'm bored. I want something different because this is boring. I need to do something that's more entertaining, right? That's the time not to change. And it's again, it's this kind of vicious circle that, I need mindfulness to meditate, to be aware of. I need mindfulness to be aware of what meditation is going to work for me, and I need to meditate to cultivate the mindfulness, right? So it can be very tricky. So, this is why we use body scan in mindfulness-based stress reduction, and that is the consistent meditation that gets referred back to over and over again in mindfulness-based stress reduction, because it's a way to keep the participant consistent so that we can see, one, how that meditation changes, how interacting with that meditation changes, and two, start to see the results in particular, or what's happening over those weeks. So try your best to be aware of your of your interaction with your own meditation. And I use the word cultivate, right? I mean, what is the word cultivate about? Right? It's about growing crops, right? That's where this word comes from, cultivation. And if you think about growing crops, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens over a long period of time. You don't plant your apple tree today and expect to be plucking apples off of it tomorrow. And I would encourage you as well in your meditation practice to try to be patient and see how things develop. Thanks, Gene, for writing these two very important, you wrote patience before I said it, but these two important attitudes of mindfulness-based stress reduction. Micah says, I do still have moments in most days where I try to stop and take a few deep breaths, try to focus on the feeling of my heartbeat for 10 to 20 seconds. And I think that's out of habit of regular practice. And that's so interesting how regular practice tends to stick. And that just those few seconds of mindfulness throughout your day can have a powerful impact on you. And Micah also shares a few more moments that she uses as little triggers to remind her to be mindful. Let's go ahead and get into our meditation practice. I know I'm 8 minutes late, so we'll probably we'll be meditating beyond the 30-minute mark today, just for those of you who are coming and expecting, maybe you have to go to work or something. So just to let you know, we'll probably end the meditation at about the 33, 34 minute mark. So get comfortable. You can feel free to lie down if that works for you. Although the risk of lying down is that you fall asleep. So choose wisely your meditation posture. One that combines relaxation and alertness. One where you can be fully awake, fully alive, yet fully relaxed. If you do choose to lie down, I would encourage you to lie with your back on the floor or on the mat or on the carpet or on the bed, with your palms, with your arms alongside the body, palms open toward the ceiling. Slight parting between the legs, feet gently falling away from each other. If you have some pain in your lower back, maybe you want to place the soles of the feet on the floor and have the knees towards the ceiling. And start by noticing that you are breathing, that you are alive. You share this exchange of gases with every other living thing, this complex miracle of life that somehow we are a part of. This gas, this air around you goes inside of your body, and oxygen gets shared into every single cell that's in you. So this external thing not only goes inside me, but becomes me. As I breathe out, that which was me, carbon dioxide, waste products of my metabolism, exit my body and rejoin the rest of the universe. And then, was there any separation between me and the rest of the universe in the first place? So just focusing on this feeling of breath as it comes into the body, as it goes out. And now, I'll invite you, if you're ready, to let go of observing this physical sensation of breath and taking your attention and moving it down into the left foot. So can you be aware of the left foot? Can you feel anything that's going on in the left foot right now? And so we're not imagining the foot. We're not creating artificial sensations by moving the toes or seeing if it's possible to observe the sensations that you're having right now in the big toe, in the little toe, in each of the toes in between. See if you can observe the sole of the left foot. The top of the left foot. The left ankle. The left shin bone. The skin around it. The left calf muscle. The left knee. The back of the left knee. The left thigh, the front side where the quadriceps are, the back side where the hamstrings are, and the left hip. So take a moment, if you like, to fully observe the left leg from the toes up to the hip. Can you feel everything that's there? And then, on your next exhale, releasing the entirety of the left leg from awareness. And then guiding attention now to the right toes, the toes of the right foot, the big toe, the little toe, the toes in between, the spaces between the toes, the sole of the right foot, the top of the right foot, the right ankle. So feeling the entirety of the right foot. And if, as I'm going through this scan, you're finding, hey, I don't feel anything in this area, like Ryan's moving on too quickly, just know that it's okay. It's okay for you not to keep up with me. It's okay for you to linger in those areas. And it's okay if you don't feel when you try to feel. That it's actually the process of trying to do this that's the most important. It's not actually what you feel that is as important as the process. Observing now the right shin, the right calf muscle, the right knee and kneecap, the back of the right knee, the right thigh, quadriceps in the front, hamstrings in the back, right hip. So can you feel the entirety of the right leg in awareness? From hip to toes. And then on the next exhale, releasing the right leg from awareness. So now from the right hip, moving to the right buttock, to the tailbone, to the left buttock, noticing the pressure between the cushion or whatever the supporting surface is and the buttocks. The perineum, the anus, the genitals, the front of the pelvis, as we hold the entirety of the pelvis in awareness. And then on the next exhale, releasing the pelvis from awareness. As we move attention into the lower back. Moving up the spine to the mid-back, the upper back, the shoulder blades, the trapezius muscles here moving up into the neck. And beginning to creep around the body to the front, so noticing the sides of the body on the left and the right. And then the abdomen. Moving in and out, kind of inflating and deflating like a balloon as you breathe. The chest expanding and contracting with the breath. Noticing the shoulders and the armpits. The fingers of the left hand. The back of the left hand. The palm of the left hand. The left wrist. The left forearm. The left elbow. The front side of the left elbow. And the left upper arm. Holding the entirety of the left arm in awareness. And then on your next exhale, releasing it. As we move our attention to the fingers of the right hand, the back of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the front side of the right elbow, the right upper arm, and then holding the entirety of the right arm in awareness. And then as you breathe out, releasing your awareness of your right arm. And then moving attention into the neck, to the jaw, to the face, the entirety of the face. Muscles around the eyes, the forehead. Just see, is there tension here? Remember that right now you don't need to communicate anything with your face. That your face can be relaxed. Notice the ears, the back of the head, the crown of the head. And so take a moment to hold the entirety of the head in awareness. And let that awareness expand to the entirety of the body. So feel your physical body here, sitting here, lying here, just breathing in stillness. What's it like to be here now? And now we'll draw our practice to its close with 3 rings of the bell. Okay. Well done. Congratulations, everybody, on making it through today's practice. How did it go today? Did it meet your expectations? And what were those expectations? Thanks, Eddie. Great to have you here today. Yeah, Neil's comment earlier was greater awareness. That's what we're looking for, perhaps, out of our meditation practice. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, it seems like a good meditation today, whatever that means, right? It's a nice change to do body scan, and it might be a good time to shift to doing body scans more, so that just to have a new to try on a different meditation to see how it affects you and it affects your bodily awareness. I mean, I think that's something that now that I've been meditating for years, I kind of take for granted, the bodily awareness that I have. And so as I guide the body scan and I lead it, I do have my attention in each of those parts of the body. And I remember years ago when I first started meditating that it was not so simple, and that it is something that I've somehow wired in my brain. It's a new ability, right? New skill that I have through regular practice. Now I can bring my awareness in. Yes to more body scans. Thanks, Gene. And I think that's what I really do believe in doing one meditation consistently, so that we're seeing specifically what the result is of doing a particular meditation regularly. And then maybe mixing in. I do think that, it's kind of like once a week. Again, this is my formula. Doesn't mean that it works for everybody, but to do a once a week of some loving kindness practice also is helpful. In that one, usually I would say I personally will do those as guided meditations. I mean, I would listen to a recording for that, because it's a little bit easier than trying to self-guide a loving kindness meditation. And even on retreats, when we do loving kindness meditation in retreat, just to do it in silence, sometimes I feel a bit lost. So that it can be helpful. All right. I have. I'll say thanks again. Thank you, JB. Thanks, Michelle. Neil says, reminds me of the stuff by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And that is to be expected, because this is where my training is, in Jon Kabat-Zinn's course called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. Thanks, Neil, for being here today. Thank you, CC, for your donation. Thanks for being here as well. And thanks for your feedback, everybody. So next time, I was actually looking for a topic to talk about, and I found this poem by Mary Oliver called The Four Signs of the Zodiac, which was like, I think I'd written it down as an idea to talk about and to recite and to go over. And I finally decided yesterday to do it and to schedule it for our next meditation. But wow, it's, I mean, I still, and maybe a lot of you regular meditators here, are still thinking about Dirk. And so am I. And as I was looking through my notes and I read that poem, it was like that poem is like, this is like, you're going to read me, right? I felt like it wasn't even me making the decision. Like, definitely this poem is what's going to be done on next time. So in about 48 hours from now, I'll be back. 47 hours and 20 minutes. You'll see me again, and we'll be going through The Four Signs of the Zodiac by Mary Oliver, which is a powerful poem. And we'll break it down. Let's close our practice with, and I would encourage you to do this at the close of all of your practices, because I think that this helps. So it makes so you don't have to do loving kindness as a special practice, that you can do it as part of your daily practice. And just remember that the best way to do this is to not focus on the words, but it's to mean it, right? When you say these words to yourself, to really, really mean them, and to focus on the feeling associated with it and not the words themselves. And this is the way that we share our merits. What we gain in meditation, we do our best to share with the community at large, the entire population of humanity. So share with me, if you will. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone in this community here, watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all of humanity, our brothers, sisters, siblings, far and wide, wherever they may be, whoever they are. I wish them all happiness and peace. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope to see you again in about 47 hours and 20 minutes. And look forward to sharing some really good stuff with you. Join Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle on Insight Timer groups for more meditations on my days that I'm not sharing with you live, and some rich sharing inside there. See you soon. Take care. Have a lovely day or evening. Bye-bye.